Now, if you're familiar with Red Letter Media, then you know that several of the members of that YouTube channel are true Star Trek fans, all right? Like, especially Mike. I would say that, like, Star Trek is genuinely, like, a special thing in his heart. He adores that show. He loves it. He knows everything about it. It has also been known that some of the Red Letter Media fans are known for trolling, playfully engaging with some of the old Star Trek members, right? The members of the TV show. For example, and this is like a little cherry that I picked for you guys, has nothing to do with the William Shatner story. Basically, someone paid Jonathan Frakes, the actor who plays Commander Riker, on a platform where you can pay celebrities to say something, send a little message to your friend or something. You pay a few $100. I don't know how much it costs. But they paid Jonathan Frakes to send a message to Mike and Rich. And obviously, Jonathan Frakes did not know who Red Letter Media were at that time. And he recorded that little lovely message that I want to share with you guys. It is luckily still available on Twitter. It's been deleted on YouTube. Please don't tell Jonathan Frakes that it's in this video, because I'm sure he's going to take the video down and get very upset about this. So, just keep it between you and me. It's our little secret. Let's take a look at it. It's right here.
Mike Stoklasas, I hope I got that right, and Rich Evans. My name is Jonathan Frakes, Commander Riker from Star Trek, The Next Generation. Your fans have reached out to me, so I would send you some words of encouragement. So Mike, Rich, you're doing a great job on your YouTube channel. And remember, this pandemic, this COVID nightmare will pass. Stay safe, social distance, wear the mask. Red alert! Shields up. Arm the aft photon torpedo. Make it so. Engage. And all the other next-gen tropes you can think of. Mike, Rich, may you live long and prosper. That's from your fans. And from me. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Right, so just to say, like, he really means good, okay? I'm laughing, okay? But I'm not really laughing about him, right? I appreciate that he sends out that message and he really means good. He wants to do something for the fans. But I'm sure you noticed that, like, the way he read it out, like, for example, the end, where he just kind of lists those tropes, obviously those were all given to him. The whole text was given to him, Someone said, please read this out. So, not laughing for him about coming up with this text, that's obviously given to him. But it's funny how he just lazily reads it out, right? And he's like, red alert. And he even said, and all the other next generation tropes that you can think of. It is like the most lazy way. Like, you cannot care less about anything than Jonathan Frakes did about this message in this video. And that's kind of why it ironically backfired. It's quite nice, It's a little trope I want to share with you guys in the beginning of this video. Just saying, it's very cringy, but there's a bit of a history between, Red Letter Media fans and Star Trek actors in the wider sense. And I just want to say, keep in mind, like, this is not serious trolling, right? Sure, it reveals that Jonathan Frakes does not know who Red Letter Media is and that he probably should have filtered his clients a little bit more, but no harm is being done, okay? It's basically just a bit of fourth wall trolling for Frakes, but also for Red Letter Media, right? Because they don't really want that. I don't think Mike, he's laughing about that stuff, I'm sure, but he doesn't really want this stuff to happen in the name of his company. So it's kind of going both ways in a way. But then, right? And this is the story. I know Red Letter Media made a video about that themselves. They break it down. I'll link it down in the description. You can go there, watch it yourselves. But in August 2019, presumably a Red Letter Media fan asked William Shatner on Twitter whether he'd be interested in appearing on Red Letter Media, and it was in a reply about someone talking about a Pet Shop Boys song, which is called Red Letter Day, okay? So it started off with this confusion, and then there was like this playful initial conversation between Mike and Shatner, in which Shatner said he doesn't book podcasts, even Red Letter Media doesn't really do podcasts, and since he said he doesn't book podcasts, it indicates that he probably saw that podcast format they do, which is like, it's pure sarcasm. It's not a real podcast format, but you probably saw that. It's completely over the top and ridiculous. Thought, well, I'm not going to go on that show. But there never was a formal invitation from Red Letter Media where they said on Twitter or some other way, hey, Mr. Shatner, do you want to come on the show? And Mike himself refutes that claim down in the video that I'll link in the description. So beyond that brief conversation in August 2019, there never was any conversation between Shatner and the guys from Red Letter Media. They never talked, right? Red Letter Media got blocked on Twitter by Shatner. But the irony is that especially Mike is like a genuine fan of William Shatner's acting, of his interpretation of Kirk. He loves the original show and grew up with it, so he actively has never done anything to disgruntle Mr. Shatner, right? It's quite the opposite. And despite everyone telling Mr. Shatner under every tweet that he sends about Red Letter Media, people are like, no, you got this all wrong. They do sarcastic stuff, but they are seriously clever review channel that is actually smarter than some of the other ones, but he thinks they're just trolling, right? Like in this tweet where he said he watched the first 60 seconds of that video, and that video starts to get serious after a few minutes. It just has like a kind of over-the-top sarcastic intro, and he only watches this part, and later they actually praise his performance, but he doesn't watch that part. Right? And the parts that he did watch somehow always seem to be the parts that just are ridiculous and over the top and just completely stupid. Because obviously we all know, if you know Red Letter Media, they have those parts. And if you only see that, you kind of take it out of context. You must think it's the stupidest thing ever. And I think that's what Mr. Shatner believes at this point. He thinks Red Letter Media is this really wacky, stupid, naive, over-the-top, merch-driven pop culture mess. That's what he's thinking. And it's just great because that's what they're parodying, and they're doing it in a way that apparently it's real enough for Mr. Shatner to believe it. So I guess in a way it's like a decoration for Red Letter Media, right? Because it's very believable. Shatner believed it. So he does not understand that they're just putting kind of a dumb and sarcastic spin on things. You know, like a fourth wall commentary type of thing. And one would think like, okay, I mean, that's it, right? That thing happened. It's like a small feud. It went back and forth. A bit of Twitter drama, a misunderstanding. Someone tells Shatner in private, look, it's this and that. Just let go of it. You know, don't engage with it anymore. Spoiler. He did engage. Captain Kirk gets involved. And just yesterday, this conversation happened. I love this. He can't let go of it. So apparently someone tweeted at Mark Hamill and said, hey, I adore you. William Shatner is really hating on these guys from Red Letter Media and was wondering if you could go onto their YouTube show sometime. They can be very satirical, but also intelligent and down to earth, just like you. And here comes William Shatner. Yes, Mark Hamill, you should check out this group. They make it a point to alienate, harass, and get blocked by major studios for sport by getting their user base to attack. If we were buddies, I would suggest you to block them right now, but I don't want to put ideas into your head, right? So it's like, whoa. Like they're using their user base to alienate, harass, and get, okay. So then someone replied and said, the reason you get inundated by messages from their fans is because most of us are fans of yours as well, and Mr. Hamill. Some are probably clueless kids. Most of us are reasonably well behaved though. As usual, the dumbest will be the loudest, unfortunately. So then he had to reply to that and said, let Mark find out for himself how wonderful they are and their fan base. And posting this one. A roller coaster of emotions. What's your favorite scene in Picard? And Red Letter Media replied, a roller coaster into a grave. My favorite scene was when Picard died and became a soulless android zombie clone and then pulled the life support on Data. I cried butterfly tears. #spoiler. Should have said that before. We also get this image. Sorry everyone, Warner Brothers blocked our Gremlins 2 review, but it definitely falls under fair use, so we're working on getting it cleared up. Okay, so Shatner has those images saved somewhere. But first of all, we don't know really if it's Shatner, but I'm assuming it because there's lots of political takes on there. He just spends hours, as you're going to see in a minute, like discussing pointless stuff with people on Twitter. I don't think a social media manager would really do that. So I assume it's him, and that means he probably has those images saved somewhere, those tweets, right? He wouldn't go back like 3 years of tweets and find that one. He saved it. He has it somewhere, which is quite cool in itself, to be honest. And then the old zombie replied to his tweet and said, they criticized the show they don't like. I don't like Picard. It's a terrible show and did a terrible service to great characters like Captain Picard and 7 of 9. Movie studios are always trying to block reviews of movies on YouTube. They are notorious for trying to crush reviews. And then Shatner replied, he can't leave it there. He has to, I mean, look, the old zombie has spoken to him. We gotta reply to that, okay? We can't leave that standing. So he says, blocking reviews is one thing, blocking accounts is another whole level. Please don't try to excuse this. It's not just one studio, it's many. And then someone says, I'm confused. Who are they blocked by? The official Star Trek Twitter? CBS, Warner Brothers, Marvel, I believe. Yeah, just basically everyone. They're just blocked by everyone, which means they're harassing everyone. It's pretty clear. I don't need to watch their videos. I don't need to watch anything. I just know they're harassing everyone, all right? So why are the studios doing this, says Karen Lins? They're just trying to avoid negative reviews? Or is there more to it? No, it's because their user base attacks for them. They know it. Even in their response video to me, they told their fans not to attack, which they know yields the opposite effect. That's how they are. They clean up with views, so they laugh all the way to the bank. And then, then at this point, you're just like, what? And then, yeah, replies, RLM are sellouts making bank off YouTube? How drunk are you right now, LOL? Shatner replies, do the math, all right? Say it's $5 CPM, so 513k views times $5 times 2,000, that's about 8,100 minimum for 3 videos over the past 3 weeks, not including what their other videos did in the views in the same time period. Definitely not making bank here at all, right? And he gets all, he found it out. He's like, this is important. I'm going to find out right now what the exact CPM is, and then I'm going to calculate this for Yeah on Twitter and let her know that they are definitely laughing all the way to the bank, okay? So then Yeah gets back and says, you forget that it's 4+ man production crew with their own set production costs, not to mention assuming their CPM hits the stated average when it truthfully could be as low as 1/5% of that is ignorant at best. Okay, it jumbles up down there a bit. But Shatner doesn't care. He doesn't care. Of course, he replies to Yeah a second time. Now we are an expert at CPMs. Oh, that was fast. If they weren't making money, they wouldn't have 4 employees and a studio. So please spare us all from ever lies you are pushing. Okay, your conspiracy theories. Yeah, you can stick them up your. You know what I mean. All right. So don't come with those. It's just so meaningless. This whole thing is so meaningless, but I love it so much. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So then Mitsu replies, okay, comes out of nowhere and says, but you stated the amount. There was only a challenge into how the money was being spent, which you claimed was bank. Using your own stated formula, it clearly said it wouldn't be enough money to be considered bank based on their size. Even you'd have to admit that. All right, Mitsu gets involved. We can't leave it at that. Shatner jumps in. Captain Kirk gets his phaser out and says, I think you have a crossed wire. They make enough to keep full-time employees and a studio going, so they make enough to live well, because nobody would bother with full-time employees and renting a studio if they were not well in the black. Okay? All right, Mitsu? Listen to Shatner. He knows how companies are run. Well, Mitsu replies, but how do you know that? That's my question. How do you know they are living well? Your stated amount of income doesn't hold water between utilities, taxes, and ones of employees. 8,150 would dry up too fast. Also, big fan. Wish we were having this discussion over better things. I mean, let's just stop here for a second. And reflect for a moment what we are reading. Okay, like here we have William Shatner deeply engaging in the revenue of RedLetterMedia, checking out how much they are probably making and whether they're cashing in at the bank, yeah? How good is it? Is it going well for them or very well? Okay, that's the question here, and we're going to find out. William Shatner finds out. It's like this show that he had. What was it called? Mystery, something with Unsolved Mysteries, something like that. It was a great show. He could narrate his own mystery at this point. It's great, but we're going deeper. To that reply from Mitsu, we have Shatner again. He's breaking it down in even more detail. They're outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. All right, look at the median price of a home. Do your homework instead of asking silly questions. Mitsu, okay? And he breaks down the cost of living in Milwaukee. I love this. I love it. He just can't let it go. Not only does he not see like what's actually going on, that there's like no negativity really coming from RedLetterMedia. I don't know about the fans, okay? I have to admit that. I don't know whether there are some crazy fans out there who harass him and stuff, but I mean, come on, man. Every YouTube channel or group that gets big enough has some crazy fans who do crazy stuff. You can't really just say it's Red Letter Media. That argument falls a bit flat in my opinion. But it's just amazing that he goes so deep and breaks down the cost of living in Milwaukee, you know. And it goes a little bit further than that, you know. He gets challenged by a few people. So David Forrester says they got 10 people donating to them on Patreon with a link. And then he says, oh, $2 a month is the minimum on Patreon. So that's at least $20K a month right there, right? Just do the math, okay? They're really well off. They're making big money. Here someone says, have you watched their content, Bill? That's the actual, only reasonable question. Someone sent me a clip of them pretending to cry while the other laughed hysterically. They tried to convince me how upset the guy was when it was clear that was just pandering for a laugh. I guess that's the end of the video that they did about the whole situation, where Mike basically just says like, look, I had enough, Star Trek damage done to me in the last few years. I don't want this in my life. I don't want William Shatner to like hate me and pull up horrible pictures of me on Twitter and just make it stop, please. I don't want it. And I think he's genuine. He just wants it to stop. He doesn't want all those shenanigans. You can always say, oh, but it's free press and free exposure. And, like, come on, man. Like, he's a true Shatner fan. He doesn't want, Shatner to hate him or be involved in this kind of negative stuff. I don't think he wants any of that. But Shatner just doesn't get it, right? And it's so funny how deep this goes. And I just really hope that it goes even deeper from here. I'm going to follow this because I saw this on Twitter today and I thought I just have to put this in the video because it's just too funny. Let's see if he re-engages with it. And I have to tell you, at this point, I'm not even sure whether he's not going to be on Red Letter Media at some point in the future. I'm not joking, because they've pushed it so far now that I could totally imagine that maybe at some point it shifts and then he might actually do it because he gets advice that it would really be like a masterful marketing thing for him. If he would have like a small guest appearance in Red Letter Media that nobody sees coming, holy smokes, the whole internet would talk about it, and it would put this kind of off-edge rambling that he does on Twitter, especially about Red Letter Media, into a little bit of more, perspective, and show that, well, actually, okay, he's not as bitter and slightly stupid. I didn't say that. Did I say that out loud? As people might believe. It would give him a lot of credibility to just have that one appearance now on that show. So I keep my eyes peeled. Will it ever happen? Leave that down in the comment section below. What do you think? Will Shatner ever appear on Red Letter Media after all that has happened? It's an unmitigated disaster. That's all what I can say, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you had a good laugh, because I did. And I hope to see you in the next one. Smash like button. Smash like button. Smash it. Like button. Where is it? Somewhere down there. And subscribe if you haven't yet done that. Take care, and I'm out. Bye.